Breakfast
with Jim Davis and Joe Hayward.
BBC Radio Leicester.
Good morning, it's Wednesday, May the 21st. You're listening to Breakfast on BBC Radio Leicester with me, Joe Hayward. In the next hour, we'll be hearing that the Prince of Wales has criticised the Russian President Vladimir Putin, appearing to draw a comparison between Russia's actions in Ukraine and Germany under the Nazis. A Leicestershire garden centre is celebrating winning a gold award at this year's Chelsea Flower Show. And we'll have, of course, a full roundup of the day's business news, all to come before 7. But first, our top story this morning. Proposals to remove subsidised meals on wheels by Leicestershire County Council are coming under attack this morning. The council says it wants views from the public on plans to almost double the amount people pay for the meals. Now, currently, it costs £3.25 to have a meal, but without the subsidy, that price will rise to £5.90. Now, around 350 people in Leicestershire currently receive the subsidy, and the council says if it's removed, they can save £300,000 from its budget. Well, Simon Galton is leader of the opposition Liberal Democrats on Leicestershire County Council. He joins me on the line now. Good morning, Simon.
Good morning, Joe.
Can you just outline, first of all, why you're concerned about the potential loss of this subsidy?
Well, first of all, we think it's a thoroughly bad idea. It would save, as you say, £300,000, but in the context of the money the council has to save over the next 4 years, that's £100 million. This is a tiny fraction of the savings that need to be achieved. You could almost call it penny pinching. But this is going to have an impact on those people that are in receipt of a subsidy. And our understanding is that it's not just that the council's proposing to remove the subsidy, but it's to withdraw from providing the service and to say to people, well, you've got a choice. You can either carry on buying a meal from the council's meal contractor at the full price, or you can buy a ready meal. But our concern is that completely misses the point, because it's a social service as well.
Yes. What do you think that the wider implications then could be for people who currently use the service?
Well, I think we're dealing with some very old and vulnerable people here who receive the service, people in the community, and it's not just about ensuring they get a hot meal a day, and although important that is, it's really also about checking on people, and it really goes to the heart of what the council's for. We would consider this to be sort of a core activity and a service that the council provides, and pointing people in the direction of saying, well, you can get a ready meal, just doesn't seem to be a satisfactory option.
I mean, you've mentioned yourself the scale of the savings that the council have to make, and I mean, everyone has to take a hit, essentially. The money has to come from somewhere, so why should this service be exempt from any other?
Well, there must be other ways of finding this money. If you accept that this is a social service, that it's to vulnerable and elderly people, as I say, in the context of the total amount of money the council's got to save, and it has got to make some tough decisions, we accept that, but this really is a very, very tiny amount. So, for example, the council still spends £100,000 a year delivering 3 editions of its newsletter, Leicestershire Matters, through people's doors. There are other ways you could do this. The council never spends the budget that it sets itself at the budget meeting in February. In the last few years, there's always been an underspend. So we think this could just be absorbed, or you could make other decisions to save money elsewhere and protect this.
OK, well, politics aside, Simon, what's your personal view of this? When you saw the proposals, what did you feel about it personally?
Well, at the time they were published prior to the budget decision in February, we had a discussion with my colleagues about all the items, and as you say, we have to make savings, so we can't challenge them all, we can't oppose them all. But this one did seem to be going too far and affecting elderly and vulnerable people, and is something that could be avoided. There may have to be a small increase in the cost, but removing the subsidy completely and going to the full price just seems to be a step too far.
So you won't be backing this at all?
We won't be. It'll come to scrutiny in due course. There is going to be this consultation now, and it'll be important to see what the people who receive the meals, but also their families and other people involved in the service think.
OK, we'll leave it there. Simon Galton, thank you very much indeed. Well, Leicestershire County Council says that even by removing the subsidy, the meals will still represent good value for money, and that the proposal, which it is at the moment, will enable it to continue to deliver the service whilst meeting its savings target. Well, later on in the programme, we'll be taking a deeper look at this issue. We'll be hearing from Tony Donovan from Age UK in Leicestershire and Rutland, and hearing from him how he thinks that this will have an impact on older people across our two counties.